Welcome to Courageous Conviction. Remember that Jeff and I record each Saturday, 5 episodes. So please hit the like button, subscribe so you catch all 5 episodes. We usually start out with one theme or topic. We have to go down a lot of rabbit holes to really understand it. Some things are more sensitive than others right now, what's going on in the world. So hit the like button, subscribe, and let's jump into this video.
So I'm not a big fan of those type of pushes on DNA and that kind of stuff, because there's a lot of room for error in DNA. And my research has shown that. And we got to be careful of that, because DNA is manipulated by science. Now let's understand something, Jeff. Do you know
there's a narrative?
There's a narrative, and there's a narrative behind it. And we're seeing now with the medical field, I think that blindsided President Nelson. I don't think you realize just how wrapped up with a policing arm now the medical field is to this agenda of the World Economic Forum and the World Health Organization, right? And that was all ushered in too by changing the medical system here back prior to President Trump. Won't mention names to not ruffle feathers of people, but there was purposes behind that, and we know that now. That's factual, right? And I don't want to focus on that, but anyway, wrap this up for us, Jeff. I can go on a bunch of things here.
Well, we could go on, but you're right. God, family, liberty, these are things that are important to us right now. Let's get back to the basics.
How do we do it though now, Jeff? We don't want to rise up, because if we rise up now, they're going to take our constitutional rights.
Rise up.
We can't win right now.
Mormon. I think learning the Book of Mormon right now is one of the best things we can do. We can be outspoken. We can talk this way, and we have to keep those conversations alive, not to stir up something that's not, we like stirring it up. Don't get me wrong, but violence is not the answer. So, and we know that. But to be prepared, I think we've got to be prepared. I don't know what's gonna happen there. I think we want people that are coming over the border to assimilate into our country, and we want to help them out in doing that. They don't always have to be, blue-minded politically. They might come over with that predisposition, but I think a lot of people are changing their thoughts, because they ultimately, the Latin Americans anyway, are family-oriented. They're on board with God, and they're on board with family. And those things are values that are hard to remove, because they go back generations. People are born into that. What do you think about
I'm going to open your eyes up with this, what I'm going to go down and do, because that's exactly what I'm going to combat. That those people coming across are not family oriented. I'm going to show you what's coming across. Well, that's why I want to go and come across with them. You're not talking the ones that want to come across a family oriented. I'm going to go interview them, because they all got rejected their visas. A whole bunch of them last year that I know, right? They all paid their $160 or $250, whatever the U.S. embassy bounced it up to. It's racketeering is what it is for the U.S. And the ones that want to come across as families aren't getting visas. The ones that are coming illegally, they aren't family oriented. And I'm going to go show that. Right. There's enough out there. I'm going to go down there in this podcast, and I'm going to walk with these people, and I'm going to show it. I'm going to put my own life on the line to just bring the truth out to our listeners. So we only got around 200 listeners right now. Guys, do us a favor. Hit that subscribe button for us. That helps us get up. We're going to bring the truth to you. We're going to talk about the hard things. Help us get it out there. So, send this to your friends, and we're going to go down there. I'm planning the trip now for March. I'm moving around.
Yeah. I know if Eric says he's going to do it, he's going to do it. So I've known him for years.
The only thing that could delay me a little bit would be my work schedule around. I have hernia surgery on the 15th next week, and I think I have double hernia surgery. I have 2 hernias, right?
I had one of those. It's not good.
No, but I'm only planning on staying down for about 10 days.
Well, I think with surgery, mine was 15 years ago, so I was down for longer than that. But and it was kind of a similar position. So hopefully you'll be fine on that, and I'll put your name in the temple.
Yeah, I'll need that, but I think maybe I'll need more of my name in the temple when we go down, because I go into that Darien Gap, but it's how far do I go before I'm kidnapped, right?
Yeah.
It's not if I get kidnapped, it's how far I get in before I get kidnapped. But you got Farking, you got cartel there, to mention.
That's why I'll be here. We'll be reporting here from the U.S. side, and you'll go down there, and we'll keep that connection. But we got a team going down there with you, right?
Yeah, we got a team. There's gonna be 4 of us. There's 3 with us, so I'll be especially our camera crew and so forth. Come with now. Going in that Darien Gap, I can't take good cameras. We're going to take cell phones in, because it's highly likely we're going to get robbed. So we're going to have to take cell phones with chips. We'll have to basically, we're going to have to stash the chips where they can't be found if we get, if they rob us or some of that nature. I don't know what we're going to entail. I do have my wife's permission, but she did tell me to make sure that I came back because, got responsibilities here.
Got a family.
Little ones, got a family. And so I want to push this envelope because I want to expose the truth. And I think I'm gonna shake some narrative that's being pitched on general media here in the US of who's coming. And that's why the stop at the Del Rey, and we won't go into that here, but because I'm going to interview what you can find there from all the different cultures they come from and what they bring with them, right? The drugs, the trafficking, the trial trafficking, et cetera, right?
Those connections
and how non-family oriented they are, right?
That's the dark side of that.
What's coming?
Community.
Yeah.
And so there is a definitely black, dark, side of.
And I saw there's a guy I listened to as a tactical guy, as a former Green Beret, and I hope I can still listen to him going into later this year. He even said, hey, they're going to basically put me out of business with this new law. I can't we'll be able to train you anymore, right? And so
is that Michael Young?
No, I can't think of his name right now off the top of my tongue. I just, in my old age, I was the guy that in scriptures and my mission, scripture chasing seminary, we used to do that back then. Remember, I was the guy that I was the last one to find the scripture. I knew the scripture. I knew basically where it was, the book it was in, but to cite, it's in Alma 42, chapter 12. That was very few scriptures, and I'm just not that way. It's just I take in so much. I don't recall those. I wish I was better at that. I do, and maybe I can train myself to be better at that. But at my old age, I'm starting to lose memory, and that's why I want to write everything down because I'm starting to lose it. But hey, Jeff, I know you got to get going to the airport. You got some business to do today, and want to wrap this segment up. I'll turn things over to you. I just want to say this, Jeff, that I believe we all need to, we've said this before, we need to hold on right now and not throw our faith out, the baby out with the bathwater, if you will, and because we're not liking certain things we're seeing in the church. I don't like it.
Hold on to the rod.
Yeah, hold on, Rod, and hold on to the Book of Mormon.
No matter
if you haven't read the Book of Mormon before, sit down and start reading it. And I'm not
apply it to your life now, today. Whatever problem you've got, the answer is in there, and you won't know that until you go into it with that mindset and let the Book of Mormon and its magic do what it did to both Eric and I, and it changed us,
there's even a narrative in there about Christopher Columbus that would completely counter the narrative we have today that apparently, Smithsonian, and apparently this is true history, right? Well, the Book of Mormon is going to tell you it's not. And actually, reality, if you look at Columbus's diary and so forth, what we're being taught is a lie. It's the same with the Incas and, the conquer of the Incas. And so what took place in Spanish, that's a small amount of truth. And they change that narrative to bring in tourism. And so that you'll give and you'll tip. It's a huge deception and we're being fed a deception we're living in today. And it's going to bleed into the church. And this is what I think the general authorities are doing right now. They're preparing for those who are going to be deceived that are members of the church. And we're going to have to learn how to deal with that deception in the church. It's not going to be like it was when we were younger, Jeff, that we're all pretty much on the same page, that we march on the Constitution and we're prepared. And we, Second Amendment people that we believe in First and Second Amendments, especially, those aren't going to be touted, I don't think, as much now because it's going to be too divisive. Yeah. Right. And it was divisive then. If you go back, it was divisive then. Now, if anybody wants to read a good book to understand what's going on today and how we were warned by our previous general authorities and so forth, it's called The Naked Communist by W. Cleon Skousen. I highly recommend it. It's great. Right. Yeah. And if you look at the agenda there to be able to achieve their full motive, they've done it. Yeah. Under Barack Obama, they were able to complete the agenda.
And the long term, that's been going on since the 50s and 60s, and
prior. It goes back even prior. Yep. And President David O. McKay knew this, and he assigned President Elder Benson at the time to actually dig this up. And remember, Elder Benson and Hugh B. Brown banged heads majorly over these issues. Woo, man, seriously. And that's when basically it was that, hey, we need to come to a united decision here. And so things became united. And I saw this BYU, and I'll stop here. But I saw this sometime back. I was doing some research, and I was trying to rebuttal an argument that was made about the Naked Communist and Elder Benson. And this BYU graduate had come back and said, "Look, here's the bottom line. Say what you want to say about Elder Benson, but the Lord got his way. He became the prophet, and then that became the doctrine." Bottom line.
And I think about that as well. I mean, people that want to poo-poo President Benson, like, he did become a prophet, you know.
Yeah,
and,
no, he did
can't
taper
overlook
off
that.
a lot when he was a prophet.
He did because that's what happens when you become a prophet. You don't want to lose anybody, you know.
And that's why David O. McKay had him doing it and not David O. McKay.
Yeah.
Right. You know, it's interesting. Same thing. My stake president would send me out to ruffle the feathers, if you would. Then he would come in with more of a loving approach and say, well, this is how we can achieve that.
The message is getting out there.
Yeah. Yeah. People didn't like me for that, but
hey, you know, we're gonna lose some friends. I guess we already did.
Yeah, I guess we did, but hey, we found each other along that path.
Yeah.
You know, and it's been a
speak
about in my life.
Can't speak about God these days without taking some guff.
And we need to do that. And I guess to close,
some thick skin, you know, you just can't get upset about that.
No, and this podcast is going to help me get thicker skin. You know, I used to get people fire off back at me like I'm like, you know, you know what?
Yeah, I do too. You know,
I'm getting what agency is. Yeah.
Hey, that's
no, we can't do that.
You can
just come here and talk about it.
No, because we're on the offense. We don't have to be on the defense. When we're that way, you know, we can respond to people and still, you know, be precise and to the point and use facts and use some love, you know. So hey, you different thinker, that's fine. We want all of your comments. We'll bring it on. I mean, I don't particularly like stuff that's not, you know, that's demeaning and
no, you know what though? I'm not even going to read or respond to demeaning comments anymore. I'm just not. I'm only going to respond to the people that actually sincerely want to relate to us, you know, and you know, live on Tim Ballard. I like your hat, bud. You know, he's getting a dirty deal to listen to him right now, and I hope people realize that this is a collaboration to take a good man down, and the cartels are behind this. You know, cartel money flows into Hollywood, and you have a lot of this stuff.
I question that DA in Murray over there in Salt Lake on the whole Tim thing, and I question, you know, the motive behind, you know, some of these things. So, you know, we'll see. The truth always comes out.
Well, eventually we'll get it. Yeah, you know, people are going to fall by the wayside right now, though, being looked at as bad guys. But remember that time then where good's going to be called evil and evil is going to be called good. We're definitely there. And the Book of Mormon explains this and explains the secret combination, explains where it's coming from. I don't know why it's so difficult for people to understand where it's coming from, right? Jeff, you got to get going. I know you do. Say no to drugs. I like that. Never get started. I've always said, if you never take a bite of the apple, you never know what it tastes like.
Eat more tacos.
Eat more tacos. I have a taco truck. I'm going there today, actually.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, please, you guys, we appreciate you being here with us. Help us grow this channel. You know, we're going to do all this stuff so that we can make better choices going forward. We're in a tough time, and we want to maintain that peace. Read Jeff's book. That's a good one too.
Revving the Soul. It's on Amazon.
Yeah, Revving the Soul. You can buy Amazon. We can put the link down below again. We'll run it this week again too. We'll keep running that, so you can just go right to it.
Revving the Soul.
Yeah, revving the soul, not riving the soul. Revving the soul. Yeah, room. Revving it up. And we need to rev them right now, bud. We need more souls revved up to take a proper stance. So, hey, in conclusion, we're not going to rise up right now in anything physical. That's not what we want to do. That's not the time for that, right? We can rise up like we're doing. We're going to do the Book of Mormon tours. We're going to do the Book of Mormon tours, part of our rising up as well, right? And things that we can do to help people build testimonies and hold on to their faith. And from that, then we do need to act. And what Tim Poole said, Jeff, and I got to say this before we go, he said, I love Christians. He said, but the only problem with Christians is they're too tolerant. They've allowed this to happen to us. And they should have weeded this out some time ago. And interesting enough, the Lamanites, when they were a pure people, when this rose up, they hunted it down and eliminated it. They did not allow it. Where the Nephites allowed it, and the Nephites' eventual collapse is because of their tolerance. So we got to be careful.
After the Gadianton robbers.
Yeah. Well, we're dealing with Gadiantos today. They never disappeared. You know.
Yeah.
All right, bud. Hey, Courageous Conviction. Thank you. We'll see you next Saturday.